Hey guys, I just got back from the Antique Radio Club of Illinois' annual Radio Swapfest a little while ago, and I thought I'd show you what I picked up. Plus, I also recorded some video footage while I was there for you to enjoy. I recorded all this footage on my Samsung Galaxy S Android smartphone, so I'm curious to see what you guys think of the quality. It should be higher resolution, and it's also widescreen, but I think it might be a little bit more jittery, and I'm not sure what the audio quality is going to be like. I normally use a JVC GR-D270U digital video recorder in standard def. Alright, so first up, if you recall, I got this Admiral 19A11 Bakelite set a couple weeks ago, and it has a gaping hole in the cabinet. And I was just going to part this out to complete another Admiral 19A11 set I've got that's missing some of the insides. Well, it just so happens that a fellow vintage TV enthusiast, Jim, gave me an empty Admiral Bakelite cabinet, so I can simply swap this chassis into this. And this one has the speaker, which is one of the parts I'm missing on my other set. So between these two and the other one, that only leaves the missing CRT shield, and I showed you in a previous video where I think I can get one from a scope. So I think I'm all set. Now, one curious thing about this is that if you look close, not the same color. This is brown under all that filth, and this one is black, which I think is cool because I've seen far more brown ones than black. But it does mean that the brown knobs that came with this aren't going to look so hot on a black cabinet. Luckily, a while ago, I got a whole bunch of these black knobs on eBay, and they're going to look perfect on this set, which just leaves a channel knob. The brown one won't look good on here, again, so these are all going to go on my other 19A11 unbroken cabinet set, which is brown, so it'll look great on those. For this, though, I think I'll go with two of these black guys for the outer knobs. And for the channel clunker and the fine-tuning, I just happen to have some brass-plated ones, which I think will look really sharp against that black. The only problem is that the shafts aren't as long. So if I try to use these, they just don't fit. They're just not long enough to fit on there, they just fall off. So I'm going to have to come up with some way to extend this to be, about an inch longer. So, here, let's see the difference. Not an inch, I guess, maybe half an inch. And ditto channel knob. But otherwise it's in good shape, or at least I think it is under the dirt and grime. So while I was there, I also bought another bottle of Novus No. 2, my all-time favorite cleaning product for Bakelite and plastic. So I'm going to go over the cabinet first with just some warm water, soft cloth, and maybe a little bit of dish detergent to get off all the dirt. And then I'll try buffing it out with this. I guess I'll record a video for that. I get a lot of questions about cleaning Bakelite, so I don't mind doing another video on the topic. Now, speaking of knobs, I spent most of my time there either talking to Jim or digging through boxes looking for knobs. So here are the knobs I came up with. Now, some of these I don't need. I just got them because I think other guys might, especially all these Motorola VT71 type knobs. These gold ones in particular I do need for a Bakelite 7VT2 Motorola set, which just leaves me with the channel and fine tuning. I've been looking for years, so I got 2 out of the 4 now finally. The red ones, like I said, I don't need these, but they're fairly uncommon, so I hope I can help somebody out. I think this is another gold one underneath that white crud. This I'm going to use on my Motorola 12K2. I've got a knob like this for it, but it's a little chewed up and chipped around here, and this one looks to be in really good shape. Here's the one gold knob I already did have for the 7VT2, so now I've got 4 of them. And these, well, these go inside this knob. I've got a few of these as well, but it seems like guys are always looking for them, so I found 2. One's got a longer shaft than the other. I'm not sure exactly what they go with, but what the heck. And I found another one of the very rare and hard to find Admiral channel clunkers with the tail on them. It's nice to have some of those. They go on sets like that back there. And of course these sets. And finally a Philco knob, which they used in their 50 and I think 1951 sets. I still need the concentric outer knob. Just like the Motorola knob has an inner and an outer, so does this Philco. Eventually I'll find it. I also bought a whole mess of cloth covered wire, and I'll show you why well, I guess I'll just tell you now. The reason I need that, and actually a lot more of it in smaller diameter, is to finish off the Westinghouse WR8 that you guys keep asking me about. See, the problem with that is that the existing wire is crumbling. Here's the lower chassis for the Westinghouse, and as you can see, this wiring is in really bad shape. It's all the old cloth covered style, and it's over stranded wire. Whenever you bend this wire, the insulation just cracks and starts flaking off. So I really want to rewire this whole thing. You know, some of this is carrying the AC line voltage, and some of it's got some pretty high voltage, like going to these 80 rectifier and the 245 output tubes. You can get modern cloth covered wire. I've got some spools over here. The problem is it's really plastic wire like this that is wrapped cloth over, and it's really thick stuff. Not so bad for some of these heavier wires like this, I suppose, but for the thinner wires like this, it's not exactly the closest match. So I've been keeping my eye out for cloth covered wire, but I've found out that there's a pretty high demand for this stuff, for real vintage cloth covered wire, because a lot of guys are into building tube amps from scratch using vintage parts, and they gobble this stuff up. So nobody there had any other than the hunk I got down there. Alright, so I got a Bakelite cabinet, I got some knobs, I got some wire. Not the most exciting things. So I had to pick up an actual set. Didn't get a radio though. In fact, I don't think I've ever purchased a radio at the radio Swapfest. What I did get was this little guy, which I have not looked at all since I picked him up. It is a TV. Another 7-inch electrostatic TV, like the Motorola's and the Admiral I just showed you, but this is an Emerson. And I think it's one of the smaller, for sure. It's definitely smaller than the Motorola's and Admiral's. But it actually has more tubes, so I'm curious to pop this out and see how they cram so many tubes into this. The cabinet's in miserable condition. Veneer loss on every side, and here a big chunk of it split off and somebody glued it back down and did an absolutely horrible job. It's raised up quite a bit, and there's just glue oozing out, so it's just totally unacceptable. So I probably will re-veneer all 3 sides. It's a pretty simple cabinet though, so I don't think it'll be a very difficult project. I think I'll bring this inside where the lighting's better so we can get a better view of it. Alright, much better lighting in here. That's definitely one downside to using this smartphone to record video. It doesn't have a built-in light like my other camera does. So this is an Emerson 639. It's quite a popular set. There's one on eBay right now that's bidding for quite a bit more than I paid for this. But on the other hand, it's in much better condition. So See how bad all this veneer is. On the other hand, the really critical stuff is all here. It has all the knobs. The plastic looks to be in good condition. The logo is there and so on. So a little Novus polish on this. It should look great. I do have the metal back, which is also a really big plus. Other than that, though, I don't know squat about this. So as I said, simple cabinet. To re-veneer this, just rip off all 3 sides and put on 3 new sheets of veneer. Only tricky bit, I guess, will be cutting out these vent holes. And here's the back. Let's see, I think I've got a flashlight around here. Yeah, see at least one original Emerson tube in there. There's 7JP4 picture tube and metal shield around it, just like in the Motorola set. There's other various tubes. So it certainly looks to be complete. Which just leaves the one really important thing, is the picture tube any good? I'm going to save the further exploration of this Emerson TV for a separate dedicated video. The real intent of this video was to talk about the ARCI Swapfest. So coming up next are some segments I recorded while I was walking around there. However, there's no narration. There was a lot of background noise and music playing while I was there, so I didn't want to be screaming into my phone. And I'm just not smart enough to know how to do post-processing voiceover, so just sit back and enjoy this footage.
Test drive today or at your local Nissan dealer. A couple of trouble spots out there. Road work on the south.
What is that? All right, that's what I thought about.
Selling this all. There's family here. They're hidden just like you. Let me know. $294. Why don't you want to keep it? You know what? I bought it already. It's regular. And I'll tell you something funny.
Move it.
Ticket number 721768. Please come up and claim the prize.
Did you see her yesterday?
You know, because he was looking for a driver, and I looked too, and I said, I didn't see any. And so I had a phone speaker, nice phone speaker, for $80, and you know, he's got a $2,000 quote. So he knows now.
Yeah.
I told him if he didn't want to do it.
All air conditioning for a nice lunch. Also, the contest room is open. Please bring your contest entry down. They're waiting for you at registration for the contest.
Go under reserve, but at the reserve, the auction is at the reserve is $325. So I figured since it's nice condition, it's got everything, it's got a top, it's got a manual too. I'll give him $50. It's got $325. Yeah, and then I got that this perfect timing. I got it.
A lot of things small. You know, a lot of people like small ones because you can't go anyhow. Yeah, you really won't have to do anything. You put it right up on your bench. When you get it home, it'll work. See how many
So I found it was just as easy to sand really well. In fact, they'll sand through.
I still think it's funny how some of those manufacturers thought that they should chrome